example, you're the only person on the stage that's ever been fined for hiring people to work on your projects illegally. You hired some workers from Poland.
I'm the only one on the stage that's hired people. You haven't hired anybody.
Well, in fact, some of the people
and by the way,
well, but hold on.
I've hired, and by the way, I've hired tens of thousands of people over my job. You've hired
1,000 people
You've
from
had
another
nothing
company,
but problems
from another
with your
country.
credit cards, etc.
Let me
so
say.
Let me
finish the statement. This is important.
You haven't hired one person
He
in
hired
your life.
workers from Poland, and he had to pay $1 million or so in a judgment.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
That's a fact.
Totally wrong.
Well, people can look it up. I'm sure people are Googling it right now. Look it up. Trump Polish workers. You'll see $1 million for hiring illegal workers on one of his projects.
Yeah,
he did.
Well. You know, it's interesting.
That happened.
I've hired tens of thousands of people over my lifetime. Tens of thousands.
Many from other countries instead of hiring Americans.
Be quiet. Let me talk. I've hired tens of thousands of people. He brings up something from 30 years ago. It worked out very well. Everybody was happy.
Paid $1 million.
And by the way, the laws were totally different. That was a whole different world.
Thank you.
But I've hired people. Nobody up here has hired
Senator
anybody.
Cruz.
If he builds the wall the way he built Trump Towers, he'll be using illegal immigrant labor to do it. The second...
So cute. Such a cute soundbite.
But no, it's not a soundbite. It's a fact. Again, go online and Google it. Donald Trump, Polish workers. You'll see it. The second thing about the trade war, I don't understand, because your ties and the clothes you make is made in Mexico and in China. So you're going to be starting a trade war against your own ties and your own suits. That's right. All right.
You know why? Because
why don't you make
they
them in
devalue
America?
Their currencies.
No.
They devalue their currencies.
Well, then make them in America.
That makes it impossible. Well, you don't know anything about business. You lose on everything.
Make them in America.
You don't know anything about it because you're a lousy
Well, I don't know
businessman.
anything about bankrupting four companies.
No,
You bankrupted four
You know what?
companies.
You know what?
I don't know anything about
And you know what?
starting a
That's
university.
called-
That was a fake university.
First of all,
a fake university.
That's called.
There are people that borrow $36,000 to go to
Mr.
Trump University, and they're suing him now. $36,000
And
to
by
go
the
to a
way-
university.
and by the way-
That's a fake school.
And by the way,
and you know what they got? They got to take a
I've won
picture
most
with
of
a
the
cardboard
lawsuit.
cutout of Donald Trump.
And by the way,
that's what they
I've
got for
won
the
most of the
$36,000.
I want to move
and
on.
they actually did a very good job. But
Mr.
I've
Trump.
won most of the lawsuit.
Senator, I want to
most
bring
of
in
the lawsuit.
I want to bring in my colleague Maria Celeste.
Excuse me, hey, Wolf, let me ask you, am I allowed to respond to this?
You're
guy?
allowed. You've been responding.
Okay, well, no, I haven't. I really haven't.
He's talked through the whole
I
thing.
haven't. Here's the guy that buys a house for $179,000. He sells it to a lobbyist who's probably here for $380,000, and then legislation is passed. You tell me about this guy. This is what we're going to have.
Here's the guy that
president?
inherited $200 million. If he hadn't inherited $200 million, you know where Donald Trump would be right now? Selling watches in Manhattan.
I'm wrong.
That's where
That
he would
is
be.
so wrong. We'll work on that. I took $1 million and I turned it into $10 billion. I borrowed $1 million.
Then release the tax return so he can see how much money he makes.
I borrowed $1 million. I turned it into $10 billion, more than $10 billion.
As soon as I step foot into the Oval Office.
I have to say,
Senator
he lied
Cruz.
this time. He lied. 100%. 100%.
Senator Cruz.
You lied about the Polish workers.
Yeah.
You lied to the
38
students of Trump
years ago.
University.
38
Senator
years
Cruz
ago.
Oh, he
jump in,
lied
please.
38 years ago. All right, I guess there's a statute of limitation on lies. Here's what you didn't hear in that answer, and this is important, guys. This is an important thing. What is your plan? I understand the lines around the state, whatever that means. This is not a game where you draw maps
And you
around.
don't know what it
What
means.
is your plan?
That's the problem.
What is
don't
your
know.
plan on health care? You don't have a plan.
The biggest
What is
problem
it?
he
I'll
doesn't
give
know.
him 1 minute
The
of my
biggest
time to tell me
problem
his
he's
plan.
got is he
What's his
doesn't know.
plan?
You know, I watched him melt down 2 weeks ago with Chris Christie. I got to tell you, the biggest problem he's got is he really doesn't know about the lines. The biggest thing we've got, and the reason we have no competition, is because we have lines around the state, and you have essentially
we already mentioned that as part of my
monopolies in the
plan. I know what that is.
you
But
don't
what
know-
else
I
is
don't
part
think
of
you
your
know
plan?
much.
So your only thing is to get rid of the lines around the states. What else is part of your health
What
care
the
plan?
lines around the states mean.
That's your only
and it was
plan.
almost done. No. You know
All
what
right,
that does?
I'll
That
give him
brings
time
in
of mind. He can
excuse
tell
me,
us his plan.
Excuse me. That
What's your
brings
plan?
in competition. When you get rid of the lines, it brings in competition. So instead of having one insurance company taking care of New York or Texas, you'll have many. They'll compete, and it'll be a beautiful thing.
Right. And so that's the only part of the plan? Just the lines, the interstate competition?
No, the nice part about the plan, you'll have many different plans. You'll have competition. You'll have so many different plans.
But now he's repeating himself.
No, I'm not repeating. No. I don't repeat myself.
You don't repeat yourself.
Here's the guy who repeats himself.
You repeat yourself every day.
They're talking about repeating. I watched him repeat himself 5 times 4 weeks ago. And
I saw
want
you
to tell
repeat yourself 5
it
times
was a
5
meltdown.
seconds ago.
I watched him melt down on the stage like I've never seen anybody. I thought he came out of the swimming pool.
I said, well,
Let's talk
I see him
about
repeat
your
himself
plan.
every night. It says 5 things. Everyone's dumb.
Senator
He's going to
Rubio.
make America great
Senator
again. We're going to
Rubio.
win.
Senator
He's
Rubio,
winning in the
please.
polls.
It's all true.
And the
Please
lines
stop.
around the state. Every night. Same thing.
Senator Rubio.
I tell the truth. I tell
Senator
the
Rubio,
truth.
you will have time to respond if you
All
would
right.
just let Mr. Trump respond to what
Yeah,
you
he's
just
gonna give us
posed
his
to
plan
him.
now, right?
If
Okay.
if you could talk a little bit more about your plan. I know you talked about
No,
the
we're going to
interstate.
have many different plans
Can you
because there's
give
going to
us
be
specific?
competition.
Said it again.
There's going to be competition. There is going to be competition among all of the states and the insurance companies. They're going to have many, many different plans.
Is there anything else you would like to add to that? as part of
No,
your
there's
plan?
nothing to add. What's to add?
In all fairness, Marco is not a negotiator. I watched him melt down, and I'll tell you, it was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. He's not going down.
He thinks the
Excuse me, wait
Palestinian is a
minute, wait
real
minute.
estate deal.
And these people may even be tougher than Chris Christie, okay?
The Palestinians
They may
are not
even
a
be
real
tougher.
estate deal, Donald.
Okay, no. A deal,
They're not a real estate
deal
deal.
is a deal. Let me tell you,
A
I've
deal
learned
is
a
not
long
a deal
time
when you're
ago.
dealing with terrorists. Have you
You
ever
are not a
negotiated with terrorists?
negotiator. You are not a negotiator. And with your thinking, you will never
agree.
bring peace. You will never bring peace.
Donald might be able to build
I wanna be
condos in the
able-
Palestinian
Excuse
areas,
me.
but he's not going to. This is
Excuse
not a
me,
real
I
estate
want to
deal.
be able to bring
Senator.
peace. He will never be able to do it. I think I may be able to do it, although I will say this, probably the toughest deal of any kind is that particular.
You've been funding liberal Democratic politicians, and by the way,
I funded
the,
you.
The
I
reason
funded him.
you're welcome
You
to
believe
have
it?
the check back.
I funded this guy.
Because let's
I
be
gave
clear.
him a check.
Yeah,
I
you
gave
gave
him
me
a check.
$5,000.
You never funded me.
And by the way, let's be clear. Donald claims to care
You know why? I didn't
about
want to, but he sent me his
Donald,
book with his autograph.
Donald, I understand rules
Mr.
are very
Trump,
hard
you're
for you.
doing
They're
a
very
great job.
confusing.
I have his book.
Okay,
Yeah, on your
Mr.
reality
Trump,
TV
you're doing a
show,
great
not
job.
in
Thank you,
Donald.
thank you for the book.
College
Donald.
Thank you for the book. Go ahead.
Donald.